This video is brought to you by the Farmer Klein YouTube channel. Be sure to like, subscribe, and comment.
Hello everybody, welcome back to another Farming Simulator 22 Map First Impressions video. Today we're going to take a look at Adelshoven. But before that, this video is brought to you by Backbone and Robert Joyce. Thank you for being farm barons. So Adelshoven can be found over at the farmingsimulator.com website or the in-game downloadable content menu. And as of the 1.0 release, this map is available for all platforms. Now let me read you a little bit of the description. Welcome to Adelshoven. A map. The map is fictitious and is intended to represent a region in Central Europe. There is something for everyone when it comes to field shapes, and some fields are rectangular and others are very natural and curved in shape. The map was created for small to medium-sized farms and contains a lot of detail. In addition to agriculture, particular attention was paid to wine and olive cultivation and forestry. A poplar plantation was also established. In total, there are 39 fields with 4 meadows. All forests can be purchased. There are 23 forest plots. The cultivation of olives, vines, and poplars was divided into 16 buyable plots. A total of 92 plots of land are available for purchase. In order to maintain the fun of the game, 10 productions and 6 sales stations were also installed. Selling points include bakery, carpentry, grain mill, dairy, oil manufacturing, tailoring, Raisin Factory, spinning, grain mill, and sugar mill. You can also sell your products at the country store, the farmer's market, the sawmill, the biogas plant, and the biomass heating plant. Collectibles are also installed. With that, let's go ahead and jump on in. Now, we are going to go ahead and use the mods that we typically use when we take a look at maps. These include additional field info, additional game settings, field lease, field calculator, and now precision farming. Let's go ahead and watch the map load on in. I will say that I checked this map in farm manager mode and in farm manager mode. The farm that you see here includes no buildings. There are a few decorative aspects that are here in farm manager mode and start from scratch. But the main farm, which you see directly in front of you, is just machinery. You do start with all of the machinery in all play modes, but you do not start with the buildings in farm manager. We are here in new farmer mode. And we're going to go ahead and, let's go ahead and take a look at the PDA. Zoom on out, and I have to say the first thing I noticed when I looked at this PDA is, boy, is it colorful. Let's go ahead and take a look at the lands. You'll see that in new farmer mode, we already start by owning what we typically call the unbuyable lands. Those would be the areas around town, the road network, and such. In fact, if you wanted to, you could sell the unbuyables for $44, or in other play modes, you could buy the unbuyables for $44. In addition to that, we do own a little bit of forest. We have $269,712 for this 5.5 acre forest. Got another forest up here, 4.1 acres for just $66,000. As far as fields that we own field 25 at the start. We also own the main farm and field 43. We own field 2 at the start. We own a little bit of these are grapes. We own a little bit of grapes down here. We also own some poplar over here. And I believe we own a little bit of some olives also over here. We do have all of the crop types available to us here in Farm Sim 22 on this particular map. Let's go ahead and move on down here to the precision farming screen. And let's go ahead and take a look and see what the soil map looks like. This map does include a standard soil map. Of course, we're just a few days after precision farming's release. All of these maps that are being released at this point have already been submitted and had already been submitted to the Giants Mod Hub well before precision farming was released. So we really cannot expect to see at this point a custom soil map, but we do have, as you can see here, the generic soil map overlaid on top of the fields. We move down here to our crop calendar. You see we have our standard crop type calendar that is available to us in Farm Sim 22. And if we take a look at the prices screen, you will see that while we also start with some crop in our silo, we do have the ability to sell all of the base game crops that we can grow in Farm Sim 22 to various sell points. We also have the ability to sell eggs, wool, and milk. We have the ability to sell silage, hay, straw, and grass as well. And then we move down here to the production items. You're going to see that while we do have, in fact, 14 different production items on this particular map, and we're going to run through those a little bit later, they are a little bit more inclusive than what the description said. We do have the ability to sell each and every production item that is available in the base game of Farm Sim 22 on this particular map. We also have the ability to buy bulk lime, and we do have a stone crusher available to us. We have a decent list of starting equipment, and we will go through the starting equipment here in a brief bit. We do not have any animals at the start. We do have contracts available to us, and when we start, we do own 2 large greenhouses. These large greenhouses do not have any water in them at the start, so you will need to add water in order to get production rolling on those. And with that, let's go ahead and jump into that starting equipment. We start out with the Steyr 8150 small tractor, as well as the Great Landini Rex 4 120 GT. We have the Kloss Axion 800, the Valtra 8750, and the Massey Ferguson 3670. As far as the harvester goes, we have the Deucefar Topliner 4090H that is paired up with the 4090H grain header, and of course the 4090H header trailer. We have the 2017 pickup truck. We have the Kloss Karat 140TD trailer. We have the grape trailer. We also have a grape sprayer in the Mercury 4000L, as well as the MP122 Osea. That is what we're going to use to prune the grapes after harvest. We have a mulcher for the grapes and the olives. We then have the Pottinger Servo 25 plow. We have the Rabe EG39 cultivator, the Nordstein HK25 NS3030 seeder. We have the Breedal K105 fertilizer and lime spreader. We have the Anderson biobaler. Now this is, if you're not familiar, this is going to be for poplar and poplar only. This is how we're going to harvest the poplar field that we have on this particular map. We also have the 144 ND forestry trailer and the SF900. This is a stump grinder. We have the ABI attachment 1600 water trailer, and then we have a pair of 750 kilogram front weights. Go ahead and do a little bit of a farm tour. So we started out down here below the hill at this little water area. And we went ahead and moved on up here. This particular light pole and the other light poles that we're going to find on this particular farm, we can sell. In fact, we can sell everything on this farm, should we so wish. We have our base game silo, so we refill pipe and our output pipe. Most of our machinery is going to be found inside of this shed. So we have our forestry machinery, our bio baler, tractors, and our harvester. We have our 2 large greenhouses, our water trailer. We do have bees, and we can sell the bees. Now, interesting enough, the beehive, the light towers, the silos off in the distance, and the honey spawn point, I believe, and a solar panel. Those are the things that we're going to find on this particular farm in Farm Manager or Start from Scratch. But in New Farmer mode, obviously you see what we have available. Do have a farmhouse in the small trailer. We have a small Una silo. This is going to be for seed. In fact, we have 27,300 liters of seed. This is going to be for fertilizer, and we have 60,000 liters of solid fertilizer also available to us. Around the corner, we have our pallet spawn point for our honey. It is going to be around here somewhere. Let's pull up PDA. There is the pallet spawn point for the honey. I knew it was around here somewhere. You can see off in the distance we have the solar panel. It is also available to us. Then we have another shed. And that is pretty much the main farm tour. This shed has our grape equipment in it. But at this point, we're going to go ahead and get set up for the fly around. We'll fly around the map and then come back to the shop, which is actually right up there on top of the hill. Get our Mahindra and then drive around the map. This map is just absolutely beautiful. Let's get a little bit of altitude here, and I think one thing you're going to find on this map is it has a lot of terrain elevation changes. In fact, we can see just off in the distance, we have some of our olives and grapes up here on the hill. We're looking straight at those. Let's go ahead and continue to rotate around. See, we do have a fair bit of forestry on the map. The roads turn and weave in and around things. Off in the distance, you can see just a little bit of the biogas plant. And then directly coming into the center of the screen is where the poplar is located. And then we have some grapes off in the distance. Let's go ahead and just kind of turn down. This long rectangular field is one of our fields. And then, of course, we have the farm located right here. Let's go ahead and pull up PDA. We'll make our way over in this direction. So, as I said, this map includes 14 different productions. We have the 2 greenhouses. We have a bakery, carpentry, cereal, dairy, oil mill, grape processing center. We have a spinnery. We have the grain mill. We have a sugar mill. We have a sawmill, a biogas plant, and a tailor. So this map is definitely getting a full point with regard to having production built in. So here we have some grapes, of which this last row of grapes we own. Grape processing facility is just on top of the hill here. Get a little bit more altitude, and then we come up to a kind of a combination where we have some olives, we have some other just general crops kind of mixed in between. Like how that has all been set up. We're going to take a closer look at these areas as we do our drive around. We have our animal dealer over here to the right. I'm sorry, this is a sawmill. Sorry, I thought that initially was the animal dealer, but that is the sawmill. All the forest that we see in front of us and to the right is going to be buyable. A couple large fields up here in the northeast corner of the map. Quite a combination of different field sizes, that's for sure. Now, with respect to buildings where purposely are using the new texture technique, I do believe that overall the buildings are using the new texture technique. We have some custom farmhouses and other residential areas. This little church here up on the hill overlooking the water is custom. And in those regards, they're using either the new windowing technique or just some new overall textures. So overall, I do feel the map is using, for the most part, new textures on the buildings. Of course, the map is going to get a full point with respect to the farm being customizable, because we can indeed sell everything that is available on the farm to have a nice clean slate. And this map, well, maybe it gets a little bit of extra credit for having some lighter than air oil drums. Got a couple oil drums here floating. Another oil drum there floating. And don't worry, everybody. Where you have 3 oil drums floating, you have some more. In fact, you can see him off here in the distance. Here's a couple more floating oil drums, just for a little bit of humor and fun. See if you can find those on your version of this particular map. We have the spinnery over here to the left. I like the use of the bridge, so we have, road going underneath, road going over. We have our biogas plant. Some production up here on top of the hill beyond the biogas plant with our cereal factory, oil mill, and our grain mill, our sugar mill. Here we have those rows of poplar covering this hillside, of which we own the last set of poplar. And then we'll make our way kind of around the corner and back over to the shop. Here we have another set of grapes. You can see how they are laid out so you can buy individual areas. So we've got olives on the left, grapes on the right, of which we own the grape area. I believe this one right there. And now we have come full circle. You see the main farm directly in the center of the map, and then the vehicle shop, like I said, is just here on top of the hill. Now, down here at the shop, we have some more machinery. You did see that in the big red shed, we had some of the grape machinery. Over here, we have our 2 weights, and then we have our grape pruning tool over here at the shop. So we do have our shop trigger located right here. We kind of have a general idea of where vehicles are going to spawn based on the machinery that is stored down here. Let's go ahead and get our Mahindra. And uh-oh. Uh-oh. Am I stuck inside? Let's go check this out again. If you are a player that uses the shop trigger, then you are spawned inside the building, and you can't get out. So be very careful of that, especially if you have tabbing to vehicles disabled. So down here at the shop, we also have our customized repair, sell, and trade trigger. Let's go ahead and hit that and see if we jump inside the building. No, we're good there. We're good there, but there's our lighter than air oil. All right, let's go ahead and get going with our drive around. We've got one of our fuel stations right here. Saw at least one other fuel station up behind the biogas plant. Let's kind of go in the opposite direction that we went when we were doing our fly around. So there we have the olive groves and some vineyards down here down the hill. We'll leave the map up down in the lower corner so you kind of follow along as we drive around. I want to kind of drive from first person perspective here to give you a little bit of sense for how the land lays, the lay of the land the way the roads flow around and down, and it just organically works. It really feels like this is a legit place. There you've got the poplar rows over there, the poplar groves, runs, whatever you call poplar. Poplar is one of those plant once, harvest many crops, so it's basically free money over there. Just make some poplar bales and come back in a year or so when they grow back and make some more. We're making our way up and around the poplar, where we had the sugar mill, the cereal factory, and some other production items. Really climbing the hill up here. And all of this is buyable. The entire map is buyable. So we have our biomass heating plant. We have our carpentry. These are base game items, so we really don't need to go into detail as to where all of those triggers are located, I don't believe. I really do like the details. Let's just drive down through this woods a little bit. I like the detail that the map author has put in here in the forest. We've got lots of different foliage going on. We've got some ferns going on. I don't know where I've seen ferns on different maps before. Looks really nice. In fact, let's go ahead and just take a look at our paintable textures. What kind of textures we have available to us. It looks like we have basically all of the base game FS22 paintable textures. So let's look at our paintable plants too. So we just have some shrubs there. I was hoping we'd see all these other things too. But I really do like this forest. You're going to see that as we continue to drive around the map. The treatment that he's done, or they have done, you see is listed as 3 distinct names or entries as far as the author goes. We've got our sugar mill. Again, this is the base game sugar mill, so pretty standard pallet spawn point interactive icon. And the dump station is no doubtedly going to be around the rear. We have the oil mill. Again, that is base game stuff, so we know where all of those triggers are located. We have the base game cereal factory. Again, we know where all of that is located. And then we have another fuel stop. This road is going to take us down where the biogas plant is. Will I be able to actually enter the biogas plant from here? It does not look like I can. I might have to make my way down below this bridge in order to finally get to there. So again, I like the way that we've used multiple levels of the road network. We've got a base game spinnery. The description did say that there were collectibles on this map, so let's go look at that. There are the 20 collectibles. So this has the cartridges, the game cartridges that are a part of the French map, Tailoring. Details abound around the map. We've got lots of forestry details, lots of details on the ground. Back there we had the windmill, where we had the details with respect to let's see if I can. See if I can get to the biogas plant from here. But like we had the windmill, then we had the old fence around that windmill. We had the same fence around the other windmill that we've already went through or went by. So now the biogas plant is over there. So we have to figure out some way of getting down the hill. Maybe we'll be able to turn off. No. Might have to cheat a bit and make our way around. All right, let's just continue on around. Sure, we'll eventually figure out how to get around to the biogas plant. Traffic's moving along at a minimalistic clip here. We do have traffic that is going in both directions. So not the fastest traffic. Around to some of the smaller fields, fields 15 and field 15 and 16. And then contrast those fields to these much larger fields. Field 14, field 13 and 12 directly in front here. Going right past one of the markers. It's up there on the hill, I believe. Hopefully we'll have a road that turns off here. This will be a bulk lime buy point. We have our bulk sell point down here at the animal dealer. We have our animal dealer trigger. Here's some of those kind of custom buildings. So we've seen buildings that look similar to this, I think, on a few other maps. They are making use of those new windowing techniques. So our base game bakery over here. All of those triggers. We see the church poking through over there. See if we can't figure out how to get over to that. Our farmers market sell point. here we are back to that bridge. So I'm just going to drive down the hill here. Maybe we'll figure out how to get over there. When in doubt, just trailblaze your own road, right? I mean, there's got to be a way to get into this biogas plant, no doubt. But where? Journey with me as we drive around this fenced-in biogas plant. Could this be it? Could this be it? Here we are, everybody. We found the way in. Let's follow this out and see if we can't figure out how we should have got here. So we have our line point. Large storage shed. We've got a scale to go through. On our way in and hopefully on our way out. 2 large 3-sided bunkers. Then we have our 2 digesters. Our interactive icon. 2 more large 3-sided silage bunkers on this side. We're a dump station for slurry. And our fill point for digestate is located right there. So let's go figure out how we should have gotten into here, since clearly we got lost. This windy road. So there's gravel. There's gravel off of the sugar mill. This road's going to take us along the top of the poplar rows. And here's a turn off. Oh, okay. Let's double back since we're already over here. Make our way over to the top northeast corner of the map. So we're kind of doubling back at this point. Shop is going to be over here on our left. The farm is down below that level. So we have the base game dairy over here to our left. get a sense for the incline of these grapes. These grape groves over here. And then the grape processing facility is on top of the hill over here. You know what? So there was lots of horsepower to drive up that. And then to get to our grape processing facility, we have to wind our way around and then up. Again, you can see, look at that forest floor, ground on the forest there, all the foliage, the greenery. The map just feels alive. It just works. We have our grape processing facility right there with our wonderful floating pallet triggers. Then we're going to wind our way up there, which is where we're going to find our pickup truck. And the olives that we own. Take a look at that. The map just keeps climbing. Man, look at that. Really nice to see maps come to the Giants Mod Hub that include these new crops with grapes and olives. So here we have our pickup truck. Go ahead and just kind of drive up and over the hill here. And while we're up here, let's go ahead and just kind of spin around. Take a look across the map. We really haven't seen too many maps that are making use of grapes and olives from the start, now have we? Let's just make our own hole in the fence. Right, we don't need to go around the fence. We'll send someone back to fix that. Let's make our way over here to the sawmill. Come around the top of the map. We have the basic game sawmill. We have our wood chips. We have our interactive icon, our dump station for logs, our log sell point, and our pallet spawn point for the planks. Going to make our way around. Let's do a little bit of a summary about the map. With 14 production points, the map is going to get a full point with regard to having production built in or areas set aside for such. The map is going to get a full point with respect to having the ability to sell all of the base game products, animal outputs, and crops that you can grow in Farm Sim 22. The map is going to get a full point with regard to the ability to customize the main farm, because we can indeed sell all the buildings as well as all of the decorative items that are pre-placed on the farm in farm manager mode or start from scratch. The buildings are not there, the machinery is there, and whatever decorative elements remain can also be sold. The map is going to get a full point with regard to buildings using the new texture technique, round textures using the new technique, and the like. And once we get around here to this final area, we'll be able to comment on how well this map is working with respect to the interactive triggers. We've got yet another lime buy point there. We have a grain sell point, and then we should have a production sell point right around the corner. So that is right, everybody. We're going to give the map another full point with respect to having trigger markers and interactive areas clearly marked. So anyone keeping score is going to know that this map is going to receive a 5 out of 5. Another perfect score. Haven't seen too many of those. We have a map 5 out of 5 for this map. Let me know down in the comments below, what do you think of Adelshoven? Hope I said that right. It is a map that is fictional, but theoretically set in Central Europe. I like the map. I think it feels good. I think it works good. I think it just has a really nice experience to it. Now, there is one thing that we did not get to show off, and that is going to be where the stone crusher is. The stone crusher is buried back here in the forest. Let me show you where that is. So here we have our debris crusher, and actually we can make a left turn up here, make a right turn, and go to that, and then what the heck, we'll also be able to swing by the church, and that's where we'll end. We'll end at the church on top of the hill in front of the lake. I really like the map. I'm looking for a map to start doing some live streaming after the console versus PC challenge. Could this map be it? It is, I would say, kind of in the contention at this point. We'll just have to wait and see. But like I said, let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. Kind of an interesting place to put the stone crusher, kind of back here in this forested area. Hidden a bit, that's for sure. So there we have our debris crusher. And all these fine ladies and gentlemen are, I guess, making their way to and from the chapel. That is in front of the lake. Hope you all have enjoyed the video. Please go ahead and click that like button. Let me know down in the comments below, what do you think of the map, as I have said. And by all means, please share this video with all of your fabulous friends. And well, there you go. There's collectible number 1. Taking a look at this little chapel earlier. Pretty cool. Got these crosses kind of embedded in the wall. And until next time, happy farming.